We're making a live on TikTok and they were explaining about how, oh, pro-life is good, abortions are bad, yada yada, all this and that. And I had to pop in, give my 2 cents. And they were like, you know, like, they're babies, it's a human, humans have rights, and you're gonna kill it? That's a murder. And I'm like, listen, I would get pregnant just to abort it. You can't argue with me, okay? I'm psycho. I would kill it. I would push myself down the stairs. I would jump out of a plane to kill that baby. I do not want to give birth.
Comment that I should have given birth when I was pregnant and I should have put the baby up for adoption because I didn't want it, and that there are plenty of other couples out there that would love a baby. If those couples want a baby, if you want to sit there and push how adoption is always an option, go tell those motherfucking couples to adopt the fucking kids in the fucking foster care system that have no parents. Go tell them to go adopt the fucking kids who don't know love. Go tell them to go adopt the fucking kids that have been emotionally, physically, and sexually abused by the system. There are fucking kids out here sitting in a system getting moved around from home to home because they aren't a shiny new baby. Children are not toys, they're not cars. You don't go and say, oh, I want a kid, but I only want the new one. You care so much about the fucking kids, go care about the actual fucking living kids who don't know love. And stop being concerned with a fucking fetus that didn't even know that it was gonna be born. You care so much about the fucking kids, go care about the fucking kids. Mind your fucking business, bitch.
I just learned something in one of my classes about abortion that completely blew my mind because I never really thought of it this way. And I hope a lot of people use this in their pro-choice arguments. And if you're pro-life, I hope you could take a step back and, like, you know, maybe this will change your mind. I don't know. Abortion was never illegal until the 1860s. And what else happened in the 1860s? Slavery was abolished. So now these white men that own these farms and businesses didn't have anyone to do their free labor. So guess what? They wanted big families. They wanted kids. They wanted the kids to work on the farms and work for them for free. Abortion was never illegal because it was murder. Abortion was illegal because people were losing money.
Okay, so I saw this girl on TikTok talk about something she learned in class that was for the pro-choice argument, and I wanted to share something that I learned that no one has ever really been able to argue against. So a common argument for pro-life is that it's a life at conception, right? So let's just assume that that's true. But we all know that it needs to use the mother's body for the next 9 months. Let's also say we all agree that rape is bad. It's one of the worst things that you can do to somebody. What rape essentially is using someone's body against their will without their consent. So if you want to say that it's a life at conception, but you also agree that no one should use someone else's body against their will, then it shouldn't be any different when someone wants to get an abortion, denying the fetus consent to use her body. So there shouldn't be laws forcing women to give up their body for someone else's use. And I really don't think you can argue with that.
I just don't think men should really have a say in the whole abortion discussion. Oh, that's really interesting. How come? They just realistically don't have to carry the same burden that women do when they're pregnant. Burden's a heavy word, but okay, you do have to agree that they are exactly half of the reason that the woman is pregnant, as well as half of the DNA that was created at fertilization, right? Yeah, sure, but they're still not as responsible for carrying the pregnancy. Okay, well, with that point of view, let's say the woman does want to keep the baby and the father doesn't. Don't you think that just provides the perfect narrative for the father to leave because he's realistically not as responsible or doesn't have as much of a say anyways? Well, just provides the perfect scapegoat for men that don't want to take responsibility for the pregnancies of women. I guess, maybe. I feel like this is the root of the issue for the lack of fathers in America, because as soon as you give them the idea that they're not as responsible for a pregnancy or don't have as much say in the pregnancy, then they can leave and just not care about the whole rest of the life because they didn't have a say anyways.
Things that actually happened to me while working at a religious university, part 7. So yeah, I just think abortion is wrong, you know? I mean, what do you think about it? I mean, her body, her choice, right? What? Well, you know that in the Bible that it says that... Yeah, I know what the Bible says, but I also believe in the separation of church and state, so... I'm confused. You know that a person can be religious and also be pro-choice, right? I have to go.
How can Christians support access to abortion? Isn't the Bible
against abortion? No, not really. The Bible doesn't say much. Jesus definitely doesn't say anything. And there's only 2 scriptures that even remotely talk about abortion, but it's not the same thing as abortion care people receive in 2020. I'm talking about Exodus 21, 22 through 25. In the story, a woman has a miscarriage because she's been injured as a bystander to a fight nearby. Her husband is owed financial compensation for the loss of the fetus, aka his family line. But the fetus itself is not considered a life. Otherwise, the compensation would have been life for a life. That's listed in the next verse, not in this verse. It's still super patriarchal and problematic that the man is receiving compensation for harm done to his wife rather than the wife receiving compensation, but the Bible sees the woman's life as more valuable than her unborn fetus. The point is, we should not use the Bible to abuse people for their reproductive decisions, and everyone deserves to make reproductive decisions free from shame, judgment, or stigma. How can
Imagine being a woman and fighting for the right to murder your own child.
Imagine being in your 2nd trimester of your pregnancy and going to your doctor and your doctor telling you, you're not going to survive the rest of this pregnancy. You will die before you are able to deliver this baby. And then the government telling you, well, you got to keep it in there because his life is more important than your own and we think you should. Imagine being a rape victim and the guy who raped you got you pregnant and the government tells you, you have to keep that pregnancy and you have to live with that for the rest of your life. And let's say that baby grows up and when he's about 15 years old, he asks you, Mom, who's my dad? And you have to tell him, oh, it's a man that raped me 15 years ago. Imagine that conversation. Imagine finding out that your pregnancy is an ectopic pregnancy, which is actually what I went through and almost died from. And then your doctor telling you, well, if I don't intervene, you will die, but the government doesn't want me to do anything, so you're just gonna have to die. Imagine being a woman and not even understanding pro-choice. Imagine being a woman and not even understanding why most abortions happen. Maybe imagine scenarios past your own existence and educate yourself before you open your mouth.
Okay, I'm gonna try to make this my last video about this, but this is a very important point. Thank you for bringing it up. So you guys have to understand, if they are going to ban abortion for one reason, they are going to ban abortion for all reasons. So in a situation like this, where a woman has a miscarriage and she needs a DNC in order to remove the dead fetus, they will deny her. They will not do the procedure because they will consider an abortion. And not only will they not do the DNC, but they could also incarcerate her for an unavoidable miscarriage. And then she will have to carry this dead fetus inside of her for who knows how long and possibly never pass it and die.
See, shit like this is stuff that you guys don't think about. Being pro-choice is not being pro-kill babies. We just want to have control over our own reproductive system. And to make it even more comical, so many of you pro-lifers hunt. You go out and you deliberately shoot living, breathing animals that do actually feel pain. And a lot of you don't even eat the animals. You just do it as a hobby because you think it's fun. It's premeditated murder, but it's okay to you because it's an animal. Do they not have a will to live? Make it make sense.
You're a hypocrite. You're a big hypocrite. You had an abortion, but because you're not happy with what you're doing, you're standing out here making other people feel guilty. And like I said, many people have been abused. You don't know what their reasons for. So I think this is so wrong on so many levels. And you're a liar because I heard her tell you, turn off the camera. So be honest, man. Be real with the people. Because as soon as they see that on you, they make women, and like I just said, you don't know if they've got money. There was a baby on the news that got found in the fucking bin, yeah? Maybe if their mum didn't feel away because of people like you, that baby wouldn't have died in a bin. Whether you think it's better to get rid of them at 10 weeks or for them to actually go through the birth and then kill that child, I think it's better then. Simple as. And I think it's right what you're doing. Make them shove off from here. But they ain't even done their research. There's kids company around there where we're helping thousands and thousands of kids while you're out here and you ain't done your research where you are, where you're located.
Fuck! This abortion law goes beyond a woman's issue, and it goes beyond anything you could ever imagine. The societal implications of this are going to be insane. The amount of just pain and damage this is going to cause, and the full ability to tell a woman what she can and can't do with her body. And we're going back into a Handmaid's Tale society here.
Who sat home? All you young girls, adults over 18 years old who did not go out and vote, who did not think that you need to protect your womb. We're now back in the dark ages.
Brace yourselves, ladies. I'm with you. My heart is just broken. I don't understand why this country hates women so much. I just don't understand it. We'll get through this. We'll figure out a way. No more joking about it being a Handmaid's Tale. It will be.
Hear me out. What if we withhold sex? I'm not kidding. What if we use our most powerful protesting option and withhold sex from penises until this is made right?